Hi everyone. Today we'll start with Module 3. Module 3 is all about flexible payment failures, maintenance and evaluation. In detail, we are going to study about types of failures, causes, remedial and or maintenance measures in flexible payments. And then we are going to discuss about evaluation by usual inspection and unevenness measurement. We are going to discuss about evaluation by Benkelman beam deflection method, falling weight deflectometer, then GPR method, that is ground penetrating radar method, and also we are going to discuss about the design factors for runway payments, design methods for airfield payments, and we are going to solve the problems on the above methods. Now let us look into what are the general causes of payment failures. Payment failure occurs when an asphalt surface no longer holds its original shape and develops material stress which causes the issues. Payment failure issues includes cracking, potholes, depression, rutting, shoving, uphilling and reveling. Here there are some of the general causes of the payment failures mentioned. The first one is excessive rain. If there is a heavy rainfall, then water stands on the top surface for the longer duration, then there will be a stripping action between the bitumen and the aggregate. If the water gets percolated inside the component layers, then there will be damage done to the subgrade soil layer. Change in groundwater condition, traffic loading, leakage of water from water supply pipes or sewage, capillarity activity, then damage caused due to excavation of trenches along roadside or cutting of roads, and there are some chances of payment failure by climatic factors such as rainfall, temperature changes, etc. Suitable type of maintenance works to be carried out from time to time on various components of roads such as carriageway, shoulders, side drains, culverts, etc. The unattended damages leads to the failure. Moving on to the next slide. Now, let us understand what are the different types of failures encountered in flexible payments. There are different types of failures such as alligator cracking or map cracking. It's also known as fatigue. Then we have consolidation of payment layers, which is known as rutting, shear failure cracking, longitudinal cracking, frost heaving, lack of binding to the lower cores, reflection cracking, formation of waves and corrugation, bleeding, and the last one is pumping. Now, we shall discuss these different types of flexible payments in detail. The first one is alligator cracking. This is the most common type of flexible payment failure. This is also known as fatigue failure. An existing bituminous payment surface that has developed extensive cracks which are interconnected, forming a number of blocks. The crack pattern resembles the skin of alligator, therefore it is called as alligator cracking. You can see those cracks in the diagram shown. Generally, it occurs due to relative movement of payment layer materials. It is caused due to repeated application of heavy wheel loads resulting in fatigue failure. It also caused due to the moisture variation resulting in swelling and shrinkage of subgrade and other payment materials. There are some of the remedies to be taken to avoid this kind of payment failure. The first one is preparing the mix with proper temperature and amount of binder, and there should be a provision of adequate drainage system. Moving on to the second type of flexible payment failure, that is shear failure and cracking. Generally, these are associated with inherent weakness of payment mixtures, shearing resistance being low due to the inadequate stability or excessively heavy loading. The shear failure causes upheaval of payment materials by forming fracture of cracking. If bituminous surface course is subjected to very high traffic loading, payment fails by shear. The overall payment structure, including the subgrade soil, are very weak. With respect to the present traffic loading, shear failure of payment structure itself takes place stressing from the subgrade. The payment structure is adequate, but the shear failure is limited to the bituminous surface cores. The main cause of the shear failure cracking are excessive wheel loading and low shearing resistance to pavement mixture. Moving on to the other one, next one, that is frost heaving. Frost heaving causes upheaval of localized portion of a pavement. The held water in subgrade soil forms ice crystals at some spots if the freezing temperature continues for a certain period. These ice crystals grow and excessive water trapped, which results in life of pavement, which is called a frost heave. In location where frost action can take place, failures in flexible pavements can occur due to either frost heave or breaking up of the pavement after winter season during towing or due to alternate freeze and then cycle continues. The extent of frost heaving depends upon the groundwater table and climatic condition. Going on to the next one, that is rutting. Rutting is generally known as a surface depression in the wheel path. A rut is a depression or groove worn into a road or path by the travel of wheels. They can form through the deformation of the asphalt, concrete, pavement, or subbase material. Generally, rutting is caused by consolidation of one or more layers of pavement. The repeated application of loads along the same level path causes cumulative deformation, resulting in rutting. It is also caused by insufficient compaction of pavement layers during construction, compression of unbound layers. Then it is also caused by improper mix design or manufacturing process. There are some of the remedies for the rutting. We can avoid these kind of cracks by providing profile corrective course, by providing adequate drainage system, and also the other remedy is the pavement with deeper ruts should be leveled and overlaid. The next one is water bleeding and pumping. Water bleeding occurs when water seeps out of joints or cracks or through an excessively porous layer. Generally, water bleeding and pumping happens under rigid pavements. Pumping occurs when water and fine material is ejected from underlying layers through cracks under moving loads. The main causes of water bleeding and pumping are porous pavement as a result of inadequate compaction during construction or poor mix design. It is also caused by high water table. It is also caused by poor drainage facility provided in the pavement. Water bleeding or pumping should be investigated to determine the root cause. If the problem is a high water table or poor drainage, pavement drainage should be improved. If the problem is a porous mix, a fog seal or slurry seal may be applied to limit the water infiltration. Moving on to the next slide. Next type of failure is due to the lack of binding with lower layers. This results in opening up and loss of pavement materials, forming patches and potholes. Slipping also occurs when the surface is not bound with the underlying base. You can see that diagram. Lack of binding with lower layers is generally caused due to the lack of prime coat or tack coat in between two layers. When there is a lack of binding between surface course and underlying layer, some portion of the surface course loses up materials, creating the potholes and the patches. Moving on to the next slide. The next one is reflection cracking. This type of failure occurs when bituminous surface course is laid over existing cement concrete pavement with some cracks. Nothing but placing a flexible pavement over a rigid pavement. This crack is reflected in the same pattern on bituminous surface. You can see the structure, you can see the figure. It shows a pavement with reflection cracking. The next one is longitudinal cracking. Longitudinal cracks are parallel to the pavement's center line or lay down directions. Can be a type of fatigue cracking or top down cracking. The primary causes for longitudinal cracking are differential volume changes in subgrade soil, settlement of fill materials, and also sliding of side slopes. Now, we'll move on to the next concept, that is, what are the various causes of formation of waves and corrugation in flexible pavements and its remedial measures. Waves and corrugations are nothing but the transverse undulations appear at regular intervals due to the unstable surface course caused by stop and go traffic. A form of plastic movement typified by ripples, that is corrugation, or an abrupt wave showing across the pavement surface. The distortion is perpendicular to the traffic direction. It usually occurs at points where traffic starts and stops. There are various causes of formation of waves and corrugations. The first one is defective rolling. It is nothing but if the rolling during construction stage is improper, leaving the formation of waves, then the process being progressive, the wave formation could continue indefinitely. The subsequent traffic operation would also cause similar effects if the rolling is inadequate during the construction stage. The second cause of formation of waves and corrugation is poor subgrade condition. Subgrade consisting of poor soil such as highly plastic or organic soils and high water table close to subgrade surface causes non-uniform and inadequate subgrade stability. The next one is poor gradation of mix. Defective gradation or mix for the surface layer give rise enhances the defects. The next one is compaction temperature. Viscous state of the bitumen binder depends upon the temperature. A very surface is formed during rolling when the bituminous mix during mixing and compaction is at very high temperature. And the last cause of formation of waves and corrugation is unstable underlying layers. Weak underlying layers also cause the formation of waves. And there are some remedial measures to avoid the or to minimize the causes of formation of waves and corrugation in flexible pavement, that is by providing a good drainage facility in the pavement system. And the next one is you can minimize by the subgrade should be heated with a modifying agent for stabilizing, which is one of the remedy to control the cause of formation of waves and corrugation. So in the next session, we will discuss about the structural evaluation by Benkelman beam deflection method, and also we'll discuss about falling weight deflectometer method. Thank you.